All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. We have the Google Pixel 9a in the house. This is the iris color. This device is eclectic because it's coming in at a much lower price point than the other Pixels, technically. And then for the phones it's competing against, and the phone it replaces, which I will bring in here because I do have the older generation of it. I think it's got a sweet spot, and we just have to kind of see it for what it is and find out if this phone is actually really good, getting past what we don't like about it right off the rip. So I'll compare it next to the iPhone 16e. I'll compare it next to the Pixel 8a, and we'll see how this plays out. There's plenty of other phones that it could be compared against this in this so-called entry level or budget range, but we will see how this works out. So this is the iris color, which I think is probably going to be one of my favorites of all. And I'm just excited to be able to get this in. So spec rundown before I crack the seal, because you only get to crack the seal one time. 6.3 inch display, 1080 by 2424, 48 megapixel camera on the back, shooting in 4K, 8 gigs of RAM, Tensor a G4 chip. Yeah, it's got the same thing as my Pixel 9 Pro here and my Pixel 9 Pro XL. So, that's how the A series works. It gets some of the goodies, just like, Apple does it with their devices and Samsung as well. So 5100 milliamp hour battery inside. Now it only has 23 watt charging and 8 watt wireless charging, but it has it, this one sit it on the charger overnight type deal. But this should be really good battery because it is in fact a big battery. And it's only pushing a 1080p display. So we shall see how this works out. But you've got a nano SIM and an eSIM, either or. You can use them both at the same time, possibly as well. So you got Gorilla Glass on the front and aluminum frame and a plastic back. So I'm kind of excited about the plastic back because, if you break a phone, if you drop a phone, a glass back will probably shatter right away. But phones like this typically plastic phones can survive. So we shall see how that plays out. But this is the packaging that it comes in. A recycled packaging, obviously, because why not? Save the planet, they say. Yeah, this is what it looks like. It has a POLED display, always on display, Android 15. Well, this has got some weight to it. I didn't really know what this was going to be like when it comes to the weight of the phone. Let's get this aside here. I don't think there's anything else in the phone, this box itself, but just a charging cable. But let me fire it up here. Yeah, charging cable and a SIM tray tool, ejection tool, and some manuals there. So we'll go ahead and let this fire up. We'll take a look around the hardware too. Take a look around the hardware. You've got your power button, your volume rocker, no camera bump, it's non-existent. There is no camera bump. And you've got antenna line, looks like microphone, the dual camera setup right here, which is a 48 megapixel main shooter at f1.7, which is a wide lens. It has dual pixel autofocus, OIS. This is a really good camera system, more than likely. Let's see how that video is though. And you got a 13 megapixel, it just vibrated, letting me know because it's doing a little bounce. There you go. It's got a 13 megapixel ultra wide lens coming in at f2.2. So that's about right when you see the widening of lenses and stuff like that. 128 gigs, 8 gigs of RAM, or 256 gigs, 8 gigs of RAM. UFS 3.1. So I know we're on 4.0 now, but still, entry level phone coming at 3.1. That's pretty good. So you've got a dual LED flash. You've got pixel shift, ultra HDR, panorama, best take 4K up to 60 frames per second, and 1080p up to 240 frames per second with OIS. So that's really good. And the ultra wide is 4K as well at 30 though. So the ultra wide can do 4K at 30. That's actually really good. You have stereo speakers on here, folks. So this is a good look. You got your Type-C down there, your SIM tray, your microphone, another speaker out down there. Yeah, and that's going to be it. So 6.3 inch display. This actually feels really good in the hand. I didn't really know, what to think about it, but it feels really good. I like it a lot so far. Just the hardware itself, because you have the brushed aluminum, and this doesn't really feel like a plastic back, folks. It doesn't really feel like a plastic back because it's frosted. And here's the 8A. And you can see the difference between the 8A. This is frosted as well. These feel exactly the same. They feel exactly the same. As you can see, they pretty much have the same things, but I'll get into a comparison later. But I'm going to get this set up and I'm going to transfer the data from there and see what else we get. So the fingerprint reader, though, is in the display and it is a optical fingerprint reader. So they're going to ask, you've got all the goodies. You got all the goodies here. So this will be pretty interesting. I'm going to go ahead and fire it up, get it set up, start taking some photos and videos and test it out for you guys, because I know that's what you really want to see. And then I will give you an extensive rundown of this phone over time. So this video is sponsored by TechAdayGiveaway.com. Be sure to check the links in the description because there is a massive giveaway happening and you need to get in on it before it's too late. Let's keep watching. All right, guys, apps are installing. Cameras on here are actually pretty good. I was surprised because companies will do these versions of phones after the other higher price versions are out. And, you know, I know why, because a lot of people probably wouldn't buy the higher price versions if they knew that they could buy something like this and get the same type of quality. And you see how fast that facial recognition is, and get the same type of quality without spending the money. So let me bring in my Pixel 9 Pro just for reference. And again, here's the 8A, and I know that's the real competitor, but the size, obviously, is what we're looking at for the screens. And you really can't see too much difference in the screen size because of the black wallpaper. But I can tell you the Pixel 9 Pro is a little bit smaller in stature because it has thinner bezels. And this wallpaper is on here for a reason, where you can see just how big the bezels are around here. I know this is important to some people, but this is a 6.3 inch display as well. So hardware wise, obviously the Pixel feels way more premium, so to speak, you know, but I do like the brushed sides on here. I think this is a great looking device, man. And as you can see, it is bigger than the Pixel 9 Pro. But, you know, in the end, it's going to come down to what you want and what you prefer. Now, you compare it against the predecessor here, the 8A. It's not as the 8A is a round device on the sides, but you can see the dynamics of everything is the same. You've got the antenna lines, the microphone there. And you come to the bottom, you've got the same story here, but you don't have a SIM tray on the bottom anymore. You have it on the top side anymore. You have it on the bottom. SIM tray is on the side here for the Pixel 8A, and on the 9A, it's on the bottom. And a lot of companies are moving the SIM trays to the bottom for whatever reason. It could be for battery size. I don't know. But you look at the positioning of the port here. The Type-C port is closer to the back of the device, and on here, it's actually centered on the 9A. You just get two speaker slots out. So, I mean, essentially, this is an upgrade. This takes the lineup more in line with what they currently offer. But I just think the camera setup should have been this camera setup, but I know why they're not doing that, because again, a lot of people wouldn't want to buy the 9. They would just go for the 9A because you're getting the same type of quality and you're getting the same type of performance. I will say that when I was going through and taking photos or whatever, the processing time is a lot slower on this device for some reason. It is slower. I don't know why. It is a lot slower. It just doesn't process as fast as some of the other phones, but it processed slower. And I was just like, wow, I wonder why it's processing so slow. But it is in fact processing slower. Like when I take a photo, and it could be just that initial bump, that initial setup, you know what I'm saying? Like of what it is. This device is just coming out of the box, but I will definitely follow up later with a more full-on detailed camera review of this phone. But I just went and snapped a couple photos, and I just went and shot a quick short little snippet with the camera. And I gotta say, I'm extremely impressed with the camera. The quality is on point. It is actually really good. So again, this is one of those situations where you wonder why a person will buy some of the other phones that is in the same company, but I understand why companies don't release these phones first. They just shouldn't do it because people will tend to go more towards the lower price device. Now here is and it's changing down there because apps are installing. If you're wondering, the transfer is coming from the 8A. So if you see the apps down there changing, and then eventually do the setup. But here is the 16E. Again, a device it competes directly against. And already I can tell you that the 16E is going to be the purchase that I think a lot of people will be willing to make, because the camera quality, the overall software experience and everything is going to be better on the 16E. No lie. I can already tell already, because I just can see the quality, and they both, while giving the respective qualities of the other versions that it's replacing or competing against. Yeah, the iPhone 16E is, in fact, it costs more, and there's more options to storage or whatever, but this just costs less, and it's going to be fitting for more people as far as the price goes. But the quality of the cameras and things like that and the software is definitely better on the iPhone 16E. I didn't think I would say that already, but I've been kind of playing with it off camera, and I was like, man, and again, I'll compare these later, but I'm going to credit that to this phone just being its initial startup and things like that. It's still downloading applications. It's still getting going. So we shall see how this plays out. But here it is next to the 16E, because I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering about that. Again, recently I got this 512 gig 16E because I really wanted to keep one in-house here for you and compare it when I could. So just off the rip, I think the 16E has better rear cameras. Front cameras, though, Pixels are known to have, I like the tones when coming from a Pixel. So we'll see how that plays out. But for now, the 9A is going to be a hit, man. I mean, because you can get some great deals on here. Now, I've always told you about Google Fi. If you sign up for Google Fi, you can use my link, but I'm tapped out on Google Fi. I don't get any more credits. So use my link and get the service at no cost and get the phone, and you can get a big discount on the phone, or even get it for free. I believe it's free with bill credits. Or I think when I logged in, I just get a $200 discount. So, but I have to keep the service active for 4 months or something like that. But nonetheless, I would say definitely use Google Fi to get it, because you can get it for free if you want to. And you'll get bill credits for 24 months. But if you really need a new phone, or you just want to try this phone, I think that's the best way to do it. Getting it free, and it'll probably be free on some carriers, I would assume. I don't check with any other carriers, but Visible Wireless and Google Fi. And again, use the Google Fi link that you find in the description. I don't get any credits or anything anymore. I'm tapped out. I hate that it's like that with Google Fi, that they don't allow you to continue to get credits for referrals. But I've had hundreds of referrals over the years, and probably even 1,000. I'm not even sure. And I got that email years ago saying, we can't give you any more credits because you've gotten all the credits you can give. I don't think that's fair, but I'm referring people to your company and you're not giving me any more credits. Boo-hoo. But nonetheless, you get credits. So the best deal I think I've seen so far that I would officially recommend is getting it on Google Fi. Activating service with Google Fi and getting it through them, because they'll give it to you free, I believe, with bill credits for 24 months. And that's just the best, unless you can get it on your carrier for free or whatever, 24 months. Google Fi is the way to go. So anyways, your man Jay, I think the phone is great. I love the hardware. It has facial recognition. It has a fingerprint reader in the screen. It's just nice. It's really, really good. And the hardware is great. And the hardware actually feels like the 8A. It's just that it's a new design. And the fact that it has no camera bump, there's literally no rock on here, even though there's a slight lip on this camera that's so faint you can barely feel it. But this phone doesn't have any rock either because of the camera bar. So I guess they decided to move away from this camera bar design and go make this phone look more like the current generation, but as far as the body goes, but take away this area here, because I guess they're saving a lot of money by having this new design. But nonetheless, folks, unboxing and first impressions, I think this phone is going to beat the iPhone 16E in some areas, just not the camera. I'm not sure yet, but we'll do an official test as well. And I also compare it next to the 8A, which I don't think is going to be a huge difference here because it's Google and they're producing their same quality from their cameras. But I'm hoping that it's some improvements. So because, Google's a software-based company, so they can definitely make changes to what they want. So I hope that you enjoyed this first impressions and unboxing video. Stay tuned for more. I've got a lot coming for you on this phone. And so look for extended coverage. Also look for extended coverage on the iPhone 16E. and other phones that are coming up. So be sure to hit the link in the description, because this video is sponsored by TechADayGiveaway.com. Hit the link, grab your entries. There's a lot of people buying entries, but you need to be following us on IG, because questions are answered directly there, not as fast as YouTube. So Smartphone Conversations on Instagram, Mr. Jerry Williams on Instagram, and Tech A Day Giveaway on Instagram. Follow us there. Winners are coming up soon. Next week on the 15th, I'll be announcing the big giveaway, where I know a lot of you guys want those folding phones, so get ready to get in on it. Also, in the link in the description, you will find, if you go to my home tab, you'll see a Nintendo Switch being given away as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.